Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Great Awakening Generator with me, Rose McNair. And once again, returning to our channel is Barbara Starke from empoweryou.co.nz. Welcome, Barb.
Hi, Rose. Lovely to be here again.
Yes, so nice to have you. Thank you so much for coming back and doing the next episode. You clearly liked the first one, so you've decided you'll bless us with another one. But anyway, how's your week been?
Oh, it's been great, thank you. It's been a lovely sunny week, so I've managed to get out in the veggie garden and things. So it's been a great
Nice, really nice. Okay, so today we are continuing with our series on tapping techniques. Now, Bob, before we talk about tapping, what we're going to do today, please give us a brief explanation of EFT and or tapping techniques. What is it?
Simply put, tapping is a stress relief technique. We work with the body, so we work somatically, and we work with the mind cognitively. So we're bringing them into coherence. What we actually do is we tap on different stress points on the body. And as we tap on these points in the body, we talk about what it is that we're working on. We bring that to mind. And by doing that, we're sending calming signals to the brain, releasing cortisol out of the body, and we're taking the tension out of whatever it is that's bothering us.
Great. Good explanation. Very simple. I like it. I think from what I'm realizing from the first interview that I did with you and then the last session, it's very much like going in and seeing what's right now. That's the situation. Acknowledging that acknowledging the situation, acknowledging that there's that feeling or that thought, and then going in and saying, okay, so let's work on releasing that, and then reviewing how we started off and then how we end off in terms of the level of calmness, or because the last one we did was about meditation and calmness, I think. And so, ultimately that's the technique you were teaching us before meditation. So yeah. So am I right in my layman's assumption of it?
That's exactly right. We work in the present.
Yes.
It's very important for us to work in the present. We work with where you are at now. We work out what's bothering you, and we might find out the cause of what's bothering you and go and release that so that you can be present in the future to do what you want to do. We can also work in the future. That's another story.
Yeah. So what I like about it is that there are not many rules in terms of how you prepare for it. From my experience of it now with you this couple of times, I like that you don't have to be in a grounded position. You be in a comfortable position for yourself as you feel at the time. You didn't ask me to close my eyes, and there's nothing wrong with closing eyes. I closed my eyes anyway in the last one, I think. But there are few rules in this one. Well, I shouldn't even say rules, because rules is a very, very restricting word. Let's say conditions. The thing that I heard was you've got to have water before, during, and after, and that's important to hydrate yourself.
That's right. With the eyes, I encourage, it's not always a good idea to close your eyes. We don't want you to associate, like if there's something big underneath, we don't want you associating in with it. So in that instance, we would recommend keeping your eyes open. But then on some occasions, like especially when we do the heart math breathing, and we're imagining that it's good to close your eyes.
Great. Okay, so thing that I want to say before, and you can also add anything to this, is the disclaimer is this is not superseding medical treatment. What we're doing here today, this technique is not superseding medical treatment. It is also, it is just a technique we're teaching. It can enhance what you're going through, even if you are having medical treatment, but this can help you in that way. Is that my understanding right?
Yes. Yeah. It's complementary.
It's complementary to anything medical that you might be experiencing at this point. All right, everyone. Tell us today, Barb, what are we going to be working on today?
Well, today we're going to work on food cravings,
Oh, nice.
which can be a lot of fun. I just want to also say that sometimes what we're working on there are things underneath it, past things that have happened in the past. So if that happens for the viewers today and you find you get triggered, I encourage you, ask that you take care of yourself. You exercise self-care. So you either keep tapping or use the tools that you use to self-regulate. If you're not able to do that, then by all means contact me and I'll help you to work through that. Yes, so we're working on food cravings and you've brought your food with you today, Rose. What have you got for us to work on, with?
So when we spoke, I said I love sugar. It used to be to my detriment previously that I would eat sugar. But these days I try to eat responsible sugar, like plant-based sugar, like xylitol. However, I've fallen off the bandwagon in the since like 2020, when we all had to be, confined to our houses, and I've got this amazing craving for chocolate. And I managed to, cope with a lot of the sugar cravings by having my cup of tea with xylitol in it, because that's my plant sugar that I have. But I just developed this craving for chocolate. It's the thing that, sets me up, hits the spot, as they say. And so there we go. That's my food.
Okay, cool. So we've got the Bounty and its lovely blue package.
Sorry.
Food cravings and emotional eating as well are often based around whether we feel safe or not. We often eat to calm ourselves, to create safety for ourselves or protection for ourselves.
Okay.
And so, to some of them, sometimes they have memories for them. Sometimes it can be a positive. It can remind us of something, a situation in where we felt loved or cared for. It might have been with Granny or something. We shared this food. And so eating this food takes us back to that time and helps us to feel comforted. So just it's not always the negative attached to it.
Okay. Yeah, that's nice to know.
Yeah. So with this Bounty in front of you, having a look at it at the moment, Rose, how much, 0 to 10, 0, you have no desire. Excuse me. And 10, you have complete desire. What level would you put your desire on at the moment to eat this Bounty?
It's a definite 10.
Oh, it's a 10. That's brilliant. Good. So I want to do a tap of sort of positive tapping. Yes. And then we'll get into working on reducing this food craving. Okay. So if we just start tapping on the side of the hand, and for the listeners or the viewers, we can tap either side of the body, the left side or the right side or both sides. It doesn't matter. It has the same effect. And we just tap gently about 8 or 12 times. So you parrot. If you would like to say what Rose says, parrot me as well, you may receive benefits yourself. So, okay. So Rose, even though I have this food craving.
I've
said that this is happening this way for me. I am open to the top of the head. I'm open to the possibility of letting this go. Eyebrow point. I've given myself permission to say no. Side of the eye. I can find other ways to release my emotions. Under the eye. I don't need to suppress them with food. I can remember another time that I felt so happy, loved, cared for when I ate this food before me. Chin point, it calmed me. Collarbone point, I can find happiness somewhere else. My happiness is not contained in this food. Under the armpit, I'm open to possibilities. Side of the hand, I honor myself for being curious about this now.
I honor myself for being curious about this now.
Take a nice breath in and out, Rose. And how strong is your desire now to eat that bounty?
Maybe it's a 7.
Okay, cool. So what I want you to do now is I want it, when you look at that bounty and you see that package, what do you notice about it? What about the packaging do you like?
I like the color of this packaging, and I like that it's blue. It reminds me of the Caribbean, and I was in the Caribbean a couple of times in the last 5 years, so I guess, yeah.
Yeah, is there anything else about that you notice?
Yeah, it's got a coconut on it, a picture of a coconut, and I love coconut. So I guess that's the attraction.
Yeah,
There's a
and when you
store-
touch,
Sorry.
when you touch that now, and what does it feel like? Is it crinkly? Is it smooth? Is it?
It's smooth. As you were speaking earlier, I recall the memory of the bounty, and I don't know if it's apt to share it now or later.
Well, what we would do, I'll write down that you've recalled a memory. So
Yes.
in an actual full session with me, we would go and release that memory. But
Oh,
we won't
right.
do that.
Okay.
We
won't do that
that's
now.
that's how it would work, but we won't do
Okay.
that today. Yeah.
Okay, that's great.
Okay, cool. So yeah, you notice that it's smooth when you touch it. Is there anything else that you noticed about it?
Well, that it's a nice firm chocolate. There's 2 of them in here, not 1. That's nice. 2 little ones. I can eat 1 now and another later on if I wanted to, or eat both one after the other. Greedy little girl that I am. Okay.
That's wonderful. Okay, so we'll do some tapping, even though
Even though
when I see that bounty in front of me,
when I see that bounty in front of me,
I notice its color.
I notice its color.
It's blue.
It's blue.
Top of the head. It reminds me of the Caribbean.
It reminds me of the Caribbean.
Eyebrow point, and I've been to the Caribbean a couple of times in the last few years.
And I've been to the Caribbean a couple of times in the last few years.
Side of the eyes. It has coconuts on it.
It has coconuts on it.
Under the eye, and I love coconuts.
And I love coconuts.
Yes. The packaging is smooth. Under the nose, the packaging is smooth.
The packaging is smooth.
Chin point. There's 2 little bounties in there.
There's 2 little bounties in there.
Collarbone. I could eat 2 of them now.
I could eat 2 of them now.
Or under the arm, or I can eat 1 now.
Or I can eat 1 now.
Side of the hand, and I can have 1 for later.
And I can have 1 for later.
Just take a nice breath in and out. And when you look at that bounty in front of you now, what's your desire to open it and eat it now?
Oh, no, I'm okay. I think I could wait a little bit longer. I won't eat it right now. I'll wait a little bit.
Yeah,
longer.
what number would you put on it?
I'm gonna say it's a 5. It's very slow, this
Cool.
one.
Cool. So, okay, what I want you to do now, Rose, is I'd like you to open the wrapper and have a smell of that bounty.
Oh my gosh. All right. I didn't think you were going to do that. Okay.
No.
let's do it then. Oh, it's not a...
Are you okay doing this?
Yeah, I'm okay doing this. Of course I'm okay doing
Okay.
it, but yeah.
Right
wow.
now, what do you notice when you smell that bounty? What's happened to
Um,
your desire level to eat it?
It's not so, like I don't want to eat it, but I love this. I'm loving the smell more. I'm noticing the smell more. I can smell the rich cocoa of the chocolate. I don't know what percent cacao is in this, but you can smell that. I can actually smell the cacao more now than I can smell, more than I can actually taste it in my mouth. I can smell it better. Does it make sense? I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah.
And when you smell that rich cacao, what happens? What sensations happen for you?
I mean, I'm calm. I'm okay. I don't feel like I have to just eat it right now. I feel okay about it. But it is
Okay,
tempting. It is tempting, but still, it's like, okay, perhaps it's
cool.
not the cacao that's the answer to this. Maybe it's the coconut
Or
and
maybe it is.
the sugar.
Okay, so just tapping again now,
Even though
when I smell that bounty,
when I smell that bounty,
I'm tempted,
I'm tempted,
but I don't have to have it right now.
but I don't have to have it right now.
No, I love the smell of that bounty.
I love the smell of that bounty. Wow.
I can smell the rich cacao.
I can smell the rich cacao.
It is tempting.
It is tempting.
I could eat it now.
I could eat it now.
I don't really feel that I have to.
I don't really feel that I have to.
Maybe it's the coconut that I want.
Maybe it's the coconut that I want.
Or the sugar.
Or the sugar.
The smell of that bounty
The smell of that bounty
is tempting.
is tempting.
Take a nice breath in and out. And what now is your desire level to eat that bounty?
Probably about a 3.
3. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So if you would just like to smell it again and just notice what you notice about that now.
The cacao smell is there. It's still about the cacao, but it's not as potent as it was earlier, which is interesting.
Yeah.
It's not as
Is
potent.
there anything else you notice?
And weirdly so, that I feel like it's not as fresh as it was when I opened the bag.
Wow.
It's almost like, how sometimes something is a little bit old.
Yeah.
That's weird. But
Yeah.
okay.
So even though, do you still love the smell of it?
Not really. You because normally that smell sort of puts you off. A smell that something is slightly old, especially with food, you're like, oh.
Even though I don't love the smell of it as much now.
Even though I don't love the smell of it as much now.
I accept that that's the way it is right now.
I accept that that's the way it is right now.
Yeah. I can still smell the cacao.
I can still smell the cacao.
It's still there.
It's still there.
It's not as potent.
It's not as potent.
The bounty doesn't smell as fresh as it did before.
The bounty doesn't smell as fresh as it did before.
I don't feel that I want to eat it as much.
I don't feel that I want to eat it as much.
It's not as tempting.
It's not as tempting.
You know what it's like when the food doesn't smell really fresh.
You know what it's like when the food doesn't smell really fresh.
I can still smell it.
I can still smell it.
It doesn't smell as fresh as what it was.
It doesn't smell as fresh as what it was.
And one more nice breath in and out. What desire level would you put on eating that bounty now?
Probably about a 0, 1 to 0. You okay? Okay, you need some water too.
Excuse me a minute. Sorry, Rose, we might need to cut this bit.
Don't worry, we won't cut it. It's fine. You take your time. Yeah, just take your time. It's on.
Okay, so what's your desire to eat that now?
I think it's more towards a 1 to 0. It's not a high.
Right, now I'm going to be some people don't think I'm very nice to them when I do this. I'm going to ask you to take to take a little bite of that bounty.
Okay.
And describe what that's like for you.
Oh, that's a shame if it's not going to be good, but okay. I'm saying that, but all right, let's just see. I've just broken a piece off. There's my piece of bounty. Hmm. Hmm.
What happened?
I think it's too sweet.
Too sweet.
It's too sweet.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
interestingly enough, it's kind of chemically. You know, there's a that chemical taste. Chemically is not a word, but a chemical. It's like a chemical taste in it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So how hard would it be for you now to put that bounty in the rubbish bin and not eat it?
Very easy not to even buy it, because even now, as I'm like, swallowing, and the thought that comes into my head is, this is not good for me because of the too much sugar, and my body does not like a lot of sugar. It craves it, but it doesn't do well with it. And also, it's like sometimes when you drink water and you feel, recently the water is questionable, and you think, oh, the taste more like carbon than it tastes like water. That carbon smell, taste, bitterness is in there. It's almost like that, and that takes away your desire to have it anyway. When you start to really taste the different elements in there, other than the thing you're focusing on, because I always think, oh, the sugar, I love it because it satisfies my craving. But now I really got to taste that afterwards, and
so that's gone from a 10 to about a 0 in a matter of minutes.
Yeah.
Cool. Right, we'll take one more round.
Okay.
So even though I have no desire to eat this bounty now,
I have no desire to eat this bounty now.
It tastes too sweet.
It tastes too sweet.
And it's got a chemical taste to it.
And it's got a chemical taste to it.
And I have these thoughts that it's not good for my body.
And I have these thoughts that it's not good for my body.
And it isn't good for my body.
And it isn't good for my body.
I choose to find more healthy ways to comfort myself.
I choose to find more healthy ways to comfort myself.
Top of the head, in a way that is good for my mind.
In a way that is good for my mind.
Eyebrow point, in a way that is good for my body.
In a way that is good for my body.
Side of the eye, in a way that is good for my heart and my soul.
In a way that is good for my heart and my soul.
Under the eye, I'm curious about how this might be.
I'm curious about how this might be.
Under the nose, I honor myself for the work that I have done.
I honor myself for the work that I have done.
Chin point, I'm choosing to put myself first.
I'm choosing to put myself first.
Collarbone point, I'm choosing to put my health first.
I'm choosing to put my health first.
Under the arm, open to learning new ways.
Open to learning new ways.
Side of the hand, choosing to be kind and gentle with myself.
Choosing to be kind and gentle with myself.
And doing the best that I can.
In doing the best that I can.
Nice. And just another nice gentle breath in and out. Well, fantastic work. It'll be great to check in a little while to see what happens with the bounties.
Great. Yeah, it would be nice for us to check in, and I will keep you posted on that, because that was interesting. I mean, I think it's a thing you grab for, and that you think is going to give you sustenance. You don't do it, you do it quickly without thinking about it.
Yeah.
You eat it, and then you've eaten it because you enjoyed it so much, and you're eating it so quickly and all of that. Or sometimes you're savoring it. But no, I don't actually savor my bounties. I just eat them. I wolf them down. So there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what often happens with food cravings and emotional eating, which is slightly different. We're quite often not present when we're doing it. It's not till we're
Yeah.
halfway through or we've finished it, we think, oh heck, I've just eaten a whole bounty.
That's
Mm.
right. And you know,
Exactly what happened.
that's right. So am I allowed to tell my story about the bounty before we go?
You're allowed to do whatever you like, yes.
I just thought, because we were talking about, oh, we'll, you know, like it's something, if you remember something, a memory of it, we take it back to a private session. But my bounty was given to me by my aunt, one of my mother's sisters, who I had a very strong, close, comforting relationship with. For the first time that I ever ate a bounty, she brought it into my world. She's passed on now, and I have a lot of happy, good childhood memories of with her, because every school holiday I went to stay with her. And in South Africa, where I come from, the bounty chocolates have got, I think this is a milk chocolate bounty. That's a dark chocolate bounty, and they are packaged so elegantly. They individually wrapped within the bag and all of those things. And so, you know, that's the memory, and I get what it is. And coconuts, I mean, when I was in the Caribbean, I was just drinking pina coladas all the time. Can you blame me? So, you
Not
know.
at all. Not at all.
So
you
anyway,
just bring your hands on your heart
yes.
and remember the beautiful times you had with your auntie and the love and care you received from her. And just acknowledge that that love and care is not inside those bounties. That love and care from your auntie is there anyway, and you can tap into that any time that you like.
Yes. Always.
Always, yeah.
Always.
Beautiful.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Well, Bob, thank you so much for today. Was there anything else you wanted to tell us? I actually feel moved right now. You know, it was like, it was quite a transformation. It happened so quickly. And so to everybody watching, I want to say, you know, try this, because so often we struggle with food cravings. I want to encourage you to try it, because we struggle with food cravings, and yet it can be as simple as that, right? To start off with.
Yeah. Just remind everyone to keep drinking water, and it's good after a tapping session to have a little bit of downtime if you can, just to allow the processing.
Yeah, sit in a quiet space or have a bit of a nap if you need to, or something like that. Right. Thank you so much for coming back this week, Barb. And we will catch everyone in the next episode of the tapping series. And thank you for joining us. And Barb, anything else to say before we go?
No, that's all. Have a great day, Rose. Lovely to see you again.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Bye-bye. Until next time.